it. That's the Grateful Dead, their acoustic band with Girl at the Crossroads. So I'm Doug with you this morning, and Josie, my trusty canine companion and co-producer, is right here with me. And we've happily been joined by a group from the interagency, the command team on the Middle Fork Fire Complex. And we have the opportunity now to talk with Jason Nez, who's a fire archaeologist, but here as a resource advisor on the fire. Jason, welcome to Garden Valley. We're glad you're here and hope you'll help us get to know you and as well get to know the fire. So, you have any introductory thoughts?
Ja, det beno Jason Nez and Nishkin Nanish. Edit Cop Bahanishly do, or Zayashi, Bashin, got Nasati, the Shido, not Pedra, the Chanela. A cool middle for Dinash Nishdi, who took Anki Baka, Iniki, do Bahashia, do Nazaza Banash Katagi Nishli. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Nez, and I'm coming from Grand Canyon, Arizona. I'm the fire archaeologist for Grand Canyon National Park, and I'm here as a resource advisor and archaeologist helping out with suppressing the fire and repairing the damage from the fire.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, appreciate you being here this morning and doing the good work you do in Grand Canyon National Park, as well as the great work that you're helping with here. So you're a resource advisor. What is a resource advisor, and what do you do on the fire?
So resource advisors, we come from a wide range of resource management backgrounds. We have resource advisors that are fish biologists, timber specialists, road specialists, vegetation botany specialists, and for myself, I'm a cultural resource specialist. And we bring our different specialties to fires to help with suppression, to avoid damaging any of those resources, whether it's bird habitat, timber stands, or cultural resource sites. And we do the same thing during suppression repair. We're working closely with crews on the ground, identifying and avoiding sensitive areas. And a lot of this is for compliance with different laws and policies from the state, county, and federal level.
Wow. So I guess you explained that, answered the next question. So talk about some of the specifics of the restoration work that's going on now. What are water bars?
So at this phase of suppression repair, we're out evaluating the damage from the different tactics we've used to help contain and suppress the fire. And some of those damages range from dozer lines that were put in on the edge of the fire, preparing roads, doing thinning along road cuts, road corridors, repairing hand lines that were put in by boots on the ground, looking for retardant drop areas, how that might have affected fish habitats, different effects like that. So resource advisors were out there with the crews identifying these things, coming up with treatments and helping implement those treatments. And some of those treatments require us to go out, find the dozer lines, look at the slope, look at the size of the dozer line, and put in water bars to facilitate drainage. Otherwise, if we leave those dozer lines open, we're going to get increased erosion. It's going to turn into gullies, and the sediment's going to come down and start filling watersheds. So we're out there measuring, we're facilitating, we're using our best judgment to put in these basically water control, to put it into the unburned area, the green as we call it, and help prevent erosion. And in addition to that, we're out finding where they cut the limbs off trees, we're out finding where they cut the bushes out, and we're putting that on the dozer line to increase habitat for animals that might be recovering from the fire and help dissipate rain that comes down. And in some cases, we're able to order seed, and we're going to put seed on those dozer lines to really hold things together as best we can.
Wow. So dozer lines cut to contain the fire sometimes are made without regard to their impact on the environment.
Yeah, I mean, we know the impacts that are happening, but part of our guidance is life and safety. So when the fire is really moving aggressively, our crews are out there doing what it takes to keep people's property and keep people safe. And sometimes it requires a bit of a heavy-handed approach. But that's why resource advisors are here, to help mitigate that and fix that, so we can accomplish protecting our habitats, protecting our environment, and protecting people at the same time.
So you talk about protecting and preserving and rehabilitation. Is fire good for the landscape?
So a lot of the landscapes we have here in North America, they're fire adapted. They need fire to stay healthy. And as we look back through history, which is part of my job, we see we have this long period of management by the indigenous cultures of this country. People putting fire on the ground, people accidentally causing fire, and people using natural lightning strikes and probably even volcanoes, I dare say, and using that to facilitate opening up the landscape for animal habitat, to facilitate hunting, to facilitate traveling. And over the past 1,000 years, indigenous cultures have created this beautiful environment that stretches from the Arctic Circle down to the South Arctic Circle of Tierra del Fuego. So we're dealing with this these forests that have been managed for so long, and now we're sort of trying to get back to that state it was, and that's going to require fire. Fire is probably the most natural impact that's out there.
So, but there's a trade-off that we've been living with recently of preserving the resource for timber and lumber and paper.
Yeah, there's things that have happened in the past that are outside of our control, and the way we're going to resolve those issues and get back to what the forest was is working together. Across the country, we see federal land managers starting to work with indigenous people. What's the best way you use fire? Like, what's the best way? What's the time period? What are the plant areas, the little microenvironments that you work in? And we're able to teach each other and learn from each other and work together to try to save our forests and make them healthier.
Interesting. And I've seen is fire behavior around here is very dependent on the prior forest fire or wildfire history. So at least even short term in my lifetime, I can see that fire has been important in maybe saving us from larger.
Yeah, and using fire as like wildfire use fire, we call them, when there's a natural start, we'll just manage it. We'll watch it, we'll monitor it, make sure it doesn't get out of control. Or we can use prescribed fire to mimic nature. And that opens up the forest and it reduces tree densities. Where I'm from in Arizona, our natural tree density used to be 30 to 60 trees an acre, which is like being on the edge of a park, very wide open. You can ride horses through it, you can recreate, you can live and hunt in it. But the way the forest has changed over time, it's too dense, we got too many trees. Little fires get big really fast and they tend to become catastrophic. So by learning how to use fire, bringing back the natural low intensity fires, we're able to avoid having to evacuate, we're able to avoid losing our valuable resources, including the ability to hunt, the ability to fish, the ability to camp.
I heard from friends in the Cascade area, which is up on a goat fire, I think, saying that they were saved. The homes, the property was saved by the fire roads and the fire activity that was between them and where the goat fire, I think it was spreading. So I'd be interested, and I hope our listeners would be too, if you just spend a few minutes and tell us what you do as a fire archaeologist in the Grand Canyon.
So a lot of us fire archaeologists, we work with their fire management divisions to help facilitate prescribed fire projects, wildland-urban interface projects, general thinning, and helping suppress wildland fires. So we're out there making sure that our work that we're implementing is compliance with laws like ARPA, Archaeological Resource Protection Act, ARFA, American Indian Religious Freedoms Act, NAGPRA, Native American Grains and Remains Repatriation Act. So there's a lot of laws, also including like Wilderness Act, that we have to be in compliance with, laws that were voted on by the public long before, like, I'm in my 40s and these laws were passed before me. So based on the work of our fathers and grandfathers, we're working within those parameters to bring fire back and bring back the healthy environments around us. So my job is out on the ground, making sure that our resources aren't protected. Resources ranging from historic cabins, lookout towers, rock art panels, artifacts on the ground, glass bottles, pottery sherds, and I work at the Grand Canyon, but I respond all over the West. During fire season, I'm in California, I'm in Oregon, and this is my first Idaho fire.
Oh, good. So do you know, coming into this fire, is there like a database that you can go to where you might have interesting archaeological concerns on the map?
Yeah, when I respond to fires, I work with the local unit, and part of our preparation for fire, part of the way we protect resources is gathering all the information we need. So our local forest office, our national parks office, we have a lot of detailed information on this is where the cultural resources are, this is where they probably are, and this is what it's going to take to protect them. So when people come to Grand Canyon to help me with fires, I just email them Avenza maps, I give them the paperwork they need, and using our own intuition and experience as scientists and resource managers, we're able to find these and come up with plans to avoid them. And coming here to Idaho, I was able to get that information from the local archaeologists, and helps us avoid sites and helps us locate sites and evaluate any kind of damage that has occurred or might occur.
Well, thank you, Jason, for sharing your experience and for being out here and helping us with your colleagues to manage this fire. Did you want to talk about the...
Yeah, we have a quick update on the fire for those that are interested. Currently, the Middle Fork fire, we have over 6,000 acres currently burned, and we're at 85% containment, and we have 572 personnel working on the Nellis, the Nelly, the Bulldog, the Goat, and the Snag fire right now. And while we're working on suppression repair, you see crews moving around, there's chippers, there's bulldozers, there's excavators, but as we're working on that, we're continuing to keep an eye out for any new starts. We're ready to respond and suppress anything that might be within the area. So you might see us looking that way. 6,000 acres.
60.
Oh.
60.
Oh, 60,000. Sorry about that. 60,000. Middle Fork complex is over 60,000 acres between the 4 different fires. So as you're out there, the smaller fuels are drying up, and you might see an increase in small smokes. There's a lot of large diameter logs that are burning. There's a lot of deep stump holes that are going to continue to respond or continue to produce smoke. So we're keeping an eye on those, and a lot of those are going to be interior, but we're watchful. We have IR flights using infrared technology to find any hot spots on the edge, and we send out crews to work on them. So if you have any further questions and you want to interact with some of our public information people and people from our operations, we're having a community meeting at the White Barn at 6 o'clock.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tuesday.
6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. So I've been to a few of those and appreciate the time that you take and the effort that the command structure goes to get that ready for us as a community. It's been very helpful. Jason, we thank you for being here, and we'll get back to music.
Yeah, thanks for having me.